Hey, it's James Lynch. So last night at the UFC 323 presser, Mike Bond, and great question here from Bond over at MMA Junkie, asking Dana White what's going on with Arman, right? They booked the interim title fight between Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett. We know Ilia Topuria is going to be out for a bit. But what's going on with Arman? Big win over Dan Hooker a couple weeks ago. He's rightfully the number one contender, I think, in most people's eyes, but we don't know what's going on with him. And Dana White gave this response, and I'll give my take on it in a second here. But here's Dana White on what's going on with Arman Tsarukyan after he defeated Dan Hooker. Where does he fit into the whole lightweight picture?
Arman Tsarukyan, obviously the odd man out now. We expect Ilia to be unifying against the interim title winner, which would make a long runway for his
I wouldn't say that he's the odd man out. He had an opportunity, and you guys know how that played out, and he's gonna have to work his way back. I don't give a shit what the number says. He's gonna have to work his way back. There's just too much goes into this for those type of things to happen. We had a little. We were talking back in my room tonight, and we were talking about all the crazy shit that's happened over the last 20-something years. But you can't do that. You can't get the opportunity and then. It can't end that way. Okay,
so a couple things about this. First off, the opportunity he's referring to is what happened at UFC 311. But here's my question then. If Arman's such a liability, and this is something that he's worried about putting him in big opportunities, why did he headline the last Qatar card? Wouldn't that have jeopardized the entire event? And to be fair, and I know people are going to say this in the comments, Arman almost did do that with the headbutt with Dan Hooker in their face-off. That was stupid. Arman shouldn't have done that. I'm not going to deny that wasn't a good idea here. But this idea that Arman's some sort of liability and needs to work his way back up is just insane to me. And not to mention, it's not even a case of Arman's not an exciting fighter. We know that's what's going on with Movsar Evloev at featherweight, right? That's why they're not giving him the title shot. Dana White, in his view, doesn't like the fact that Movsar doesn't finish opponents, and maybe not the most appealing, but Arman just finished his last fight. He was pretty dominant. He always puts on good fights. I don't ever remember a fight with Arman Tsarukyan that's been boring, so that doesn't fit the bill. To me, this is just Dana's excuse of trying to justify Paddy getting this opportunity. I think that's really what it boils down to, because a lot of people feel like Paddy doesn't deserve this opportunity. His only good win is Michael Chandler, and here he is fighting in a interim title fight against Justin Gaethje. So I think that's the part where I'm kind of, and then this whole got to work your way back up. Well, who's he going to fight? That's the thing I'm trying to figure out right now. They just announced Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira. I could have understand if they would have done Arman and Max Holloway. That actually makes sense, right? Because you keep Arman busy. Holloway should be right up there. Again, the guy that Holloway beat, last year, Justin Gaethje, he's fighting for an interim title, but Holloway isn't. And Holloway just beat Poirier as well. I think that's something that's kind of getting lost in the shuffle. Holloway has a lot of merit, in my opinion, to get in the title picture at 155. The issue, obviously, is that he just fought Topuria at 145. I don't think people want to see that rematch anytime soon. But, that would have satisfied both things, as having, Max Holloway and Arman fight each other. But that's not what's happening. But let's look at lightweight right now. Who is he going to fight? Okay. So you've got Topuria at the top. He's TBA. We don't know when he's going to return. Sorry, not TBD. To be determined when he's going to return. That's what I'm looking for there. You got Arman at number one. Oliveira and Holloway are fighting each other. Gaethje and Pimblett are fighting each other. Dan Hooker is now fighting Benoit Saint-Denis, and obviously Arman just defeated him. Is he going to rematch Gamrot? That's what we're doing here? And Gamrot just lost. He actually looked terrible in his last fight. Really bad performance, right? He got completely outclassed by Oliveira. Wasn't competitive at all. Got finished in the second round. First time he's been finished in the UFC. That's what we're clamoring for. Then you got Saint Denis and Hooker. You got Fiziev, who just got booked against Rufi. And then you got Moicano. So what are your options? It's Moicano and Arman, or it's Gamrot and Arman, the rematch. And maybe that's something they do because I thought Arman won that fight. That was the fight a number of years ago, which, was close, but I think Arman should have got the nod on that one. If you look at it there, I think even the media agreed with me here. Gamrot defeats Tsarukyan. What were the scorecards on that one? Yeah, you see the majority of media felt like Arman won that fight. So I could maybe understand that. But I just think right now Arman probably wins that fight pretty decisively. Right? I think you could argue that if anything, Gamrot's on a bit of a decline, right? He's getting up there in age. He's 34 now. Not too old. But Arman's in the prime of his career. He's 29 right now. And we're going to give him fights that he's probably going to win. It's just, this idea that he's got to work his way back up. Again, why did you put him in the Qatar main event if that was the case? If he's such a liability? It's unfortunate what happened at UFC 311. I get the UFC being upset by that, but that's why you gave him the Hooker fight. He fought Hooker. He had a very good performance. He gets the win. Why are we not talking about him, back in this title picture? And I just, the title of this video says, they're just like, I get they're not paying attention to the rankings. I get it's a Paramount era. I get they want to put on exciting fights, but like, I just don't think this is the right way to go about things, right? Like, what are we going to do? We're just going to keep giving Arman opponents, and then eventually when Dana determines it's like the right time, you give him the title fight? I just think, a lot of fans want to see the best fight the best. And again, I would understand more if this was a situation where Arman was not an exciting fighter, right? Like, I can understand fans, because you see that with Evoyev. They're like, oh, well, no one wants to watch this guy fight, even though I completely disagree with that. I think Evoyev's fight with Aljamain Sterling was actually very interesting. It was a very good fight. But this is where you're kind of losing me here. And I think part of it is too, and we see this even going on with Tom Aspinall right now. I was going to do a video on that, but I might as well just mention it briefly in here. Like, Dana he holds grudges. And I just think that's just not a good way to do business sometimes when it comes to giving the fans the best fights. Like, I'll just show you this quickly. He sort of, when he was asked about the whole thing with Aspinall, let me find the quote here. Dana White reacts to Tom Aspinall saying he was disappointed with his reaction. What did I say? We have all people all over him right now checking up on him. I'm no doctor. I'm just saying what I've heard. He's like kind of playing coy about like, well, I never said that he wasn't hurt. But like, he obviously has held a grudge against Aspinall because he couldn't continue. Same sort of thing's happening here with this Arman situation. It's like he's holding this grudge, and it's like, what's going to be good enough? Now, if I'm Arman saying this, what's the best way to get back in the good graces of the UFC? Because he has no leverage. He has no power. A lot of fighters don't, by the way. This whole idea that fighters can choose fights, that's just not really a thing. Unless you're like John Jones or McGregor or whoever, like you're one of the big superstars where you have a little bit of leverage. Fighters don't have any leverage, so the UFC calls the shots. If you want to get back in the good graces, Arman should be going on social media right now being like, I'll fight anyone, get him booked immediately. In fact, they should put him on... He should try and fight on the January 24th card. Show Dana that he's willing to, step up and take a short notice opportunity. If he fights Gamrot on January 24th or whenever that card is, the Gaethje card, I think as long as his weight's down, I think he can get it and get it done. And let's remind people that, this is a guy that is one of the best in the division, if not the best in the division. So that's what I want to see. I think Arman's got to, and like I said, Arman's not totally innocent in this. He's got to be more active. He's got to be more proactive in taking fights. Like we did here last year, apparently, nothing was 100% confirmed, but we heard that maybe there were some fights that he was offered last year and he didn't take them. Like, you can't do that either. Like, you've got to step up and show that you're willing to take fights. So what I would like to see from Arman is him going on social media right now. And we have seen him more active on there, which is good, but come on here and say, look, I'll fight anyone. Book me immediately. Let's go. Let's get this going. Because otherwise, he's just going to be left into the abyss. Like, that's one thing that's killing Evoyev right now. I barely see the guy tweet about anything. He's not doing any media. Like, if you want to get any sort of, fan support for getting opportunities, you got to put yourself in the limelight. And I think Arman's got to do that right now too. Because in my opinion, he's getting screwed over. Like, to me, he's the number one contender. He should be fighting for the interim belt. And instead, we're getting this whole, like, he's got to work his way back up. Like, come on, man. Like, we want to see the best fight the best. Like, if you're listening to your fans, put Arman Tsarukyan in a good fight, and let's see him get that title shot here soon. Because I know there's a lot of fans out there who think that Topuria would smoke him. I don't know about that, guys. Arman's very well rounded. We saw the last fight against Hooker, very dominant performance. I don't know. I just think this is honestly my whole thing watching this with Dana last night. This just looks really petty. Like, get over it. Give the fans what they want to see. We want to see Arman in a big opportunity and get that title shot. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. This did surprise me a bit. I really did think after the Dan Hooker fight that Dana would kind of be like, okay, well, we'll do Gaethje and Patty, and then Arman can maybe fight the winner or something. But this is just really disappointing to see that they're still holding a grudge, or Dana's still holding a grudge about this. Let me know what you think in the comments. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @Lynch on Sports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.